Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me. What an absolute treat. I've been enjoying the show, P.S., by the way.
I love it.
Like
Thank you.
the fashion, yes. Like all of it, really fantastic.
You know, we're talking about career ceilings and finding a way to evolve. Obviously, many people knew you first as a country music star, but you clearly in the back of your mind had a plan that did not mean removing your status as a country music singer, but you wanted to layer to it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, I think as artists, and I know that you can relate to this too, as your career continues to expand and has from the beginning, it's an evolution, right? And a lot of times we come on to the mainstream public conscience in a certain way at a certain time, and somehow we can get branded as that. But the reality is throughout our whole lives, we have been on this journey and exploring a variety of different parts of ourselves. For me, as an artist, I started out, I was singing, I did musicals, I did musical theater, I did plays, and I was an independent musician for 10 years, playing like indie rock in the 90s before Sugarland became a writing project. Since then, I've gone on to evolve. So it all really, really is a journey, isn't it? I mean, like,
well, it is, and it's also, though, a part of that journey is escaping labels, because we know that, especially when you're as good as you are at something, people say, she is a great country singer, and I don't see her as anything else other than that because she is so good. So when you get Dolly Parton and she sees you audition to play the role of her mother and says, that's Mama, she called it out. What was that like for you?
So sweet. And listen, what an absolute honor, because obviously to get to play the role of someone's mother, that's such a sacred relationship, in its healthiest form and in its best sense, and especially Dolly Parton. So no pressure there. Yeah, truly is an honor. And it's just like you're saying, we're always told to stay in our lane, when people imprint on us in a certain way.
I've had the honor of interviewing Dolly over the years, and she gives the best advice. I remember she said before a show, pee and pray. When you were around, Dolly, she told me, pee and pray, and I take that very seriously now. What advice did she give you, particularly on that point of staying in your lane, the documentary on her life, which is phenomenal? She was always told, stay in this lane, do this, this is what you must do, and she broke the rules. What advice did she give you?
She absolutely broke the rules, and she was just being herself. She is always authentically Dolly. But she also broke all of those barriers. She was in movies. I mean, of course, we remember 9 to 5. We remember Steel Magnolias, to name a few. She is a songwriter. She is a businesswoman. She has an amusement park. She's been, she absolutely does it all. And her life itself is a testimony and a masterclass in what it is to be an artist.
Well, your life is the same, a masterclass in not letting people label you or put you in a lane. You've got this comedy series, The Righteous Gemstones, on HBO Max. I mean, that's another example of you taking these leaps of faith in your 40s and saying, you can stay in the back or in a box. I'm not.
Thank you, ma'am, because here is the reality of it. A lot of times we tend to connect the idea of transformation or that hero's journey with the transition between adolescence and adulthood, as if that is the only time that we make these grand transformations, as if that is the only time that we go into those dark caves and come out different. And I have to tell you, in my 40s, I have gone into way darker caves and come out way more transformed.
You've got a new album. It's called Always Like New. It's a collection of Broadway classics. Perfect timing. Broadway is opening up again in September. What was the inspiration to take your journey in this direction?
Well, as we were just chatting about earlier, I did start out doing musical theater as a child and always wanted to be able to revisit it. So for me, this album has been a long time coming and something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. Now, I recorded this album between 2019 and ironically finished it on March 12th, 2020, which was the day that they officially closed Broadway. Like, I sang the last note and our phones started lighting up saying Broadway is closed. So for it to be reopening and to be putting this record out now, sort of waving the flag as the drum major saying, yay, let's celebrate all this beautiful talent that's about to be back on stage is really thrilling.
Let me tell you, I could talk to you all day. When I started trying to sell and pitch this show, and we would talk about celebrity interviews, you are the type of person I had in mind. You are a huge star, but you recognize the journey and how important it is to share it. And that's why people love everything you create, from the comedy to acting to music to this Broadway, everything. You're the best. I just love you so much.
You know what I say? Takes one to know one.